Well, guys, I mean, here we are. Who would have thought that, months back when, we had this whole idea basically started with Jonathan Crumpton wanting a bunch of hymns and started with that Writes and Bites, which is that collective of writers and singers. And then I reached out to all you guys who I've all known individually. Like, we're neighbors, like right across the street. And we've been writing together forever. And then for all of us to come and work on these particularly hymns with deep lyrics, deep theology, hoping for beautiful melodies, and being able to do that. And now we're in front of all these people here getting to perform these songs and talk about them. So
it's really cool to have an idea. And this idea, of course, Jonathan really kind of put the challenge in front of us. Let's write something that the church can sing for generations. And to talk about the idea of trying to do that, and then to come back a few months later and hold it in your hands is pretty cool. I mean, we've all experienced that to some degree, but it never gets old, does it? To open it up and go, wow, there it is. It started here and here, and now we're holding it, and churches can sing it too. That's pretty cool.
It's so, yeah, what do you think?
I was just saying amazing. It's so exciting.
Amazing.
It's incredible.
You know what I think that it's good to hear about how a song begins is whenever you hear from how much fun we had writing these, and also how many tears were shed, stories were told. You know, for every line you see, there may have been a story that was told or a situation in our lives where God had moved or done something. And that's the beautiful thing about this, is this comes from a deep place in all of our hearts.
Yeah.
And so it was
true.
a lot of fun. We laughed a lot and we cried a lot, and just it's really cool to see this here today.
Yeah. It's interesting you would say that all art really, and really all ministry happens in context. And that's something that comes through in these songs when we talk about them, because you're right. Usually they start with a voice memo from Todd, right?
Which we have one for this.
We have one of those.
We have one, and we actually kept it. A lot of times, I send a voice memo, and then you guys listen to it like, hey, that's great. That's a good starting point, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do this.
That made us think of a better idea.
Which happens.
So then this cranks. We're all driving, and we're all listening to the voice memo as we're driving to get to the same place. And by the time we walk in, we kind of halfway started a song, because of the inspiration there. And that's been,
what I got to say, too, that's what cracks me up is I know if I can get an idea out, even 15 minutes before the actual write, Mike is going to have 3 verses written already of lyrics. Just like, hey, I don't know if this is good or not, but blah, 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 blah. And it's amazing.
Well, I mean, they're not always good. But anyway, it's cathartic for me. But, every great song starts with a great idea and something that's true. And that's the beauty of writing great hymns, is we're starting with something that's true. We're starting with the gospel. It's timeless. There's no bottom to it. There's no top to it. I mean, the subject matter is infinite. And so anything that focuses in a direction, and that's what, Todd, you're so good. And it's amazing to see Daniel, they bring, it's been cool to see the 4 of us write together, because we all bring just a little slither of this. And I think we're writing songs together that none of us would write without the other 3. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Cool.
And we meet about once or twice a month now to, just to cry and to write, but to write songs. And what's funny is, a lot of times for me, especially early on, co-writes were like a blind date.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Really awkward, really uncomfortable, and I still, when it comes to songwriting, I still can kind of feel like an imposter, if I'm being honest, And so to be able to come into a room with people you really care about, people you connect with immediately, and we've been able to write songs I'm really proud of. Really, I'm proud of the theology. Like, I've grown up as a missionary kid, being a preacher's kid, going to Bible school, wanting to be able to share about God's word, but be able to do it in a way where it's musical and it's memorable, and people can put these thoughts into their heart. Like, to me, that's everything. Like, that is, and so writing with you guys is just, every time I'm like, okay, Lord, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's neat seeing all the trust in the room, and respect, because, when you do bring an idea, sometimes it's like we almost take it verbatim, but we oftentimes change it up. Or when you do come with some lyrics. You're like, hey, whatever, man. And I'm like, you've been writing lyrics for decades and they're incredible, but you have no problem with any one of us saying, yeah, I don't know about that one. You're like, okay, let's come up with a better one.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that is the basis and the beauty of what we've been able to do as a team is we just trust each other, you know, trust our instincts, trust, you know, ideas, and everybody's willing to be open-handed with what they present. And that's refreshing. You know, when you're in a room with other friends that do that.
You know, another good sign too, when you're trying to write a song like this, is if it didn't move us, why would we have any confidence it would move anybody else? I mean, really. And I mean, when I've got a visual right now of that space that we typically write in, and I mean, we've had some church in there when these songs start ministering to us, and we start singing, and he starts playing, and you start singing, and we all just pick apart and we start experiencing the song. It's in us, and then prayerfully let it be through us. But I love singing with you guys. I mean, it's just fun and to write and sing together. Pretty cool.
I remember on this particular song, Greater Grace, I can still see you just rearing back going, I am free.
Yeah.
I am free. I mean, your hands were up. You were just singing it out. And I was like, we're on to something now.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, those, and even the bridge, grace that is greater.
Yeah.
Just really, we just sang it over and over, just celebrating that. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
The song kind of goes where it goes. And I think the singing of it is where we stumble into some of those I am free moments, grace that is greater moments, because the song is leading us to say those things. And we just start singing and worshiping, and then we realize, I think what we just did, Mace, should be in the song, you know, and it's pretty cool. Anyway.
No, what I was going to say, as soon as you said that, the I am free, that was a declaration because I've always struggled with legalism. And I've always struggled with whether it's shame or it's win my way back to God, even though I know that's not, he's done everything. That declaration of, man, I'm free, and I'm free because of you, because of what you've done, what you did on the cross, how you've lived your life, how you lived it perfectly, and you came and you took my place. And so sometimes you just have to declare what you know is true, even if you're fighting that internal battle of going, I've got to work my way back to you. It's like, no, I'm free because of who you are, because of your grace.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the cool things musically that I don't feel like necessarily a spectator, but we've got so much. I mean, the guy can play, and actually I've heard him sing a few notes too. And everybody knows the voice here, Todd and Daniel, you're such a gifted singer. And I'm watching the gifting happen because you sing like a worship leader. You are a worship leader. You bring an artist. You sing so artistically. And Daniel has a knack of pulling us back toward where a congregation can really engage. And it's been really cool to watch the song kind of, we all pull it a certain direction, and then it finally settles in a place that we all go, yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's really cool to see how that happens.
And that would make sense too, because Daniel has written some prolific songs that all of us have sung. He played for Chris Tomlin for how many years? Have you played?
20-something.
Yeah. How old were you when you started?
18, yeah.
18. So you think of all the guitarists now who were listening to you and they were learning guitar, trying to play like you, and how many people you've led in worship through all those songs, all those incredible songs. So to have someone like him in on this, and to have Daniel, whenever we do a demo for Selah, I always have Daniel do the demo because Alan loves his voice so much that if I really want the song cut, I know if I do it, he's going to be, that's nice, Todd. If Daniel does, it's like, funny. We need to do that song. We need to do that song.
That's amazing.
Okay, tell me, with this song in particular, you hit on some things. Is there anything that strikes you in particular with the lyrics of this song before we go into it, before we start singing it? What does it mean to you?
Well, I just remember you sending that your first idea. You had those words, greater grace, which immediately I think everyone's ears went up.
Yeah.
Just because there was so much in there, and anytime you have, trying to write a song, anytime you have like a snippet like that you're like, oh, we can just unfold and unpack for hours this idea and what that could be. it was such a great starting, like jumping off point where it was like, oh, there's so much in that. And we already have like, you know, even a title kind of thing, like something to chase after. It was amazing. So to know that theme just really, we stayed with that all day and we didn't like chase down, well, we may have chased things down, but what we landed on stayed in that one, right there with that greater grace idea was so beautiful.
Yeah, I remember thinking lyrically, if grace is greater, what's it greater than? And the classic hymn, Grace Greater Than All Our Sin, inspires some of this lyric for sure. And so the verse material starts out by talking about how dark, how cold, how broken I was. But setting up a chorus that says, but grace was greater. Grace was greater. And then we get to that refrain, grace that is greater than all my sin, made it personal. And so the song at that point just starts writing itself almost when you realize this is what we're trying to say. What is the contrast of that to set that up? And then you start piecing those things together, and everybody brings a phrase or a word, and then musically, what I love about I love the message of the song for sure, but I love the simplicity of this music. It's just, man, it just feels so right. Because the gospel feels complicated in some ways, you know, when you think about propitiation of sin and all the things you can get into the big theological terms. But the fact of the matter is we needed a Savior, and Jesus is one. And it's the simplicity of that story is really what comes through this song for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really like how it's just a response. The back half of the song,
yeah.
The first part sets up the story, and the back half is just settling in that, just repeating grace that is greater. It's good to soak in those moments of just being reminded of the greatness of his grace. And so as we sing it over and over, it's like, man, it's just, I need that reminding because I forget.
Yeah.
And we need to settle there for a bit and celebrate in our hearts, you know?
And I think it's one of those songs, to God be the glory for this, I think it's one of those songs that a group of people could hear one time and sing the second time through.
Yeah.
And that's not because it's necessarily just easy, but it's simple and it's memorable. It's a very attainable thing that I can't wait to hear people sing this. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and that is one of the major goals. You can keep playing under me. I'm going to say
You like
something
that?
really
Yes.
profound right now.
We're going to have an
But-
offering here in a minute too.
But I think that is one of the major goals, is to have great theology, great music, but it be simple to where you're leading the congregation. And so you want people to be able to pick up on it and sing and worship, you know, pretty immediately. And so that is a thing I love about this song, because as soon as you hear it, you're like, okay, I know it. I know where it's going.
Hey, let's sing it.
Yeah.
Greater grace, I am free.
When I look inside of this heart of mine, such a sinful, dark, broken place, and my spirit cried to be justified in the hopes I could be saved. I had reached the end of my righteousness, falling short of his perfect will. Then a greater grace found its way to me, and my soul is singing still. I am free. I am free. I am free by the blood of the Lamb. Greater grace rescued me. I am free by the blood of the Lamb.
Grace that is greater. Grace that is greater. Grace that is greater. Grace that is is greater than all my sin. Grace that is greater. Grace that is greater. Grace that is greater than all my sin.
I am free. I am free. Oh,
I am free by the blood